On the vast blue sea, where the horizon and the ocean merge, fishing boats begin to leave the dock before the sun has even risen. Before dawn has time to touch each wave, dozens of men are already busy preparing for a challenging day of making a living. They are fishermen of the sea, people who live with the wind, breathe with the waves, and attach their lives to giant nets that are neatly rolled up in the ship's hold. The sound of the engine roaring loudly in the middle of the night sea. The ship slowly cuts through the water, heading straight to the open sea. Each trip is a gamble with the weather, with the ocean currents, and with the luck of the sea. But that is also hope. Because, if the heavens are kind, the net will be full of fish. Each time the net is pulled up, each fish body flutters in the air. The dream of a full life is closer to the fisherman. On the deck, the fishermen divide the work skillfully, without much words. Some check the nets, some prepare the anchors, some monitor the positioning system to determine the coordinates of the fish school. Every step seems to have been pre-programmed by decades of experience. Like a rhythmic collective dance between humans and the ocean, the nets are stacked high like a living wall, ready to spread out like giant arms reaching down to the deep sea. When reaching the fishing spot, a water area that has been identified through sonar signals or traditional experiences. The nets begin to be lowered. Each thick net, hundreds of meters wide, is gradually released from the reel, slithering down to the water surface like giant sea snakes. The wind blows fiercely, the waves roll, the nets sink deep into the water, expanding in a fan shape, waiting to surround the school of fish below. The fishing net is not simply a tool, it is the soul of the trip. There are dozens of different types of nets, from trawl, to purse seines, to bottom nets, each designed to suit a particular species of fish, a particular depth, and a particular current speed. Skilled fishermen can predict by looking at the waves which type of net to cast, at what depth, and for how long to hold the net for optimal efficiency. In the moments waiting for the fish to be caught, the atmosphere on board becomes quiet. People quickly eat breakfast, drink hot tea, or take a few precious minutes to sleep. Some people sit on the edge of the boat, their eyes looking far away to the horizon as if they are talking to the ocean. For them, the sea is more than just a place to make a living, it is an old friend. Both gentle and harsh. Then the signal sounds, the fish have entered the net. The buoys floating on the water surface begin to shake violently, signaling a great movement below. The net pulling machine is started, the screeching sound echoing like thunder. The whole ship suddenly became bustling as if it were bursting into a festival. Meters of net were pulled up, weighed down by the weight of hundreds, even thousands of fish struggling in the thick net. The scene always overwhelmed the viewers. Silver fish, blue fish, yellowfin fish, flatfish, All kinds of fish crowded together, wriggling in the sunlight of the ocean. At times, a giant fish was pulled up, weighing hundreds of kilograms, forcing the whole group stingrays, sharks, orange fish, red snapper. Each time the net was lifted, a treasure from the ocean floor was revealed. After the net was collected, the whole ship became a temporary workshop. Some people sorted the fish. Some gutted them to clean them. Some quickly iced them to keep them fresh. Each operation was carried out with almost absolute speed and precision. Because time was the key factor, to ensure the quality of seafood after arriving at the dock. Fishermen have no room for delay, because every minute that passes is a minute of losing fish value. Every day at sea is a different story. Some days the nets are full. There are so many fish that there is no more room. The boat has to return earlier than expected. There are also days when the nets are lowered but pulled up empty, or only a few small fish. The sea is not always generous. But no matter what, the fishermen continue. They do not give up, because of their faith in the sea, and because of their responsibility to their families and the community where they live. The journey of fishing with nets is not simply a job, it is life. It is identity. It is the harmony between man and nature in an ancient dance. Fishermen are like warriors without swords and spears, using the net as a weapon, the boat as a warhorse, using courage as armor, and faith. The vast, fierce but also promising sea every day after hours of tension pulling nets and processing fish. The atmosphere on the ship began to calm down. The sun was high in the sky, shining its bright rays on the sparkling sea. Salty sweat stains soaked the fishermen's backs, but no one complained. For them, it was the familiar smell of labor, a testament to the fruits of the ocean's labor. Each full box of fish was transferred to the cold storage in the hold. Ice trays were scooped up and covered over the fish to preserve their freshness and nutritional value. Some precious fish would be marked separately, waiting to be sorted when the ship docked. There were bluefin tuna, if large and fat enough, that could be sold for thousands of dollars in international markets such as Japan or Korea. Fishermen at sea are not simply people who cast their nets and wait. They must understand every small change in the water current. Every change in the habits of fish species, every gust of wind, every change in the direction of the ocean current. Memory and experience are their priceless treasures. There are old people who no longer go to sea but still sit on the shore, passing on stories, tips, and signs of heaven and earth that young people need to learn to survive in the stormy sea. After a successful catch, the boat continues to surf to the next fishing spot. It is not not always lucky. So each time the net is cast, it is a thrill, a gamble. There are days when the sea is rough, the rain is pouring, the wind is howling fiercely, but the boat still cannot turn around, because the demand for food is increasing, and because the lives of millions of people are closely tied to each kilogram of fish brought back to the mainland. On days when the sea is very rough, casting the net becomes extremely dangerous. Each net weighs several tons when soaked in water can easily whip against the deck like a steel whip. Strong enough to knock down a strong man if careless. The big waves make the boat sway. The fishermen have to keep their balance with each step, each safety hook, each strap tied tightly to the boat's hull. But despite the hardship, they still do not falter. No one wants to return to shore empty-handed. Sometimes, fishing boats have to stay at sea for weeks, living in the middle of the water, where there is no land, no phone signal, only the sky, water and people's hearts. That is where people learn patience, learn to cooperate, and learn to survive. The meals on the boat are simple but warm, just white rice with grilled fish, a little dried vegetables or dipping sauce. But for them, that is the taste of life, the taste of the results after a day of tireless work. In the afternoon, when the sun is leaning red on the horizon, the boats often anchor for a break. Everyone takes the opportunity to check their nets, remove the tears, patch the worn spots. Some people sit on the side of the boat playing the guitar. Others smoke cigarettes, their eyes looking far away to the sea. They think of their wives and children, of the small house on the mainland, where people are waiting for each ship to return. Every night at sea is a beautiful picture. The moon is bright as a mirror. The stars are twinkling all over the sky, reflecting on the water, creating a magical scene. The ship lies quietly in the wind and waves, like a small leaf in the middle of the vast ocean. And right in the middle of that scene, the fishermen cast night nets, a lighter, more delicate type of net, specially used to catch nocturnal fish such as mackerel, scad, or squid. Pulling the net at night requires alertness and high concentration. In the dim light from the ship's lights, each net is gently lowered, like invisible arms waiting for prey. A few fish wriggle slightly, causing the water surface to vibrate, creating a small noise in the quiet night. The fishermen hold their breath, their hands tightening the rope connecting the net. As long as they feel the pulling force is strong enough, they will pull the net up immediately. Many times, surprises appear. A school of baby sharks strays, a small whale, or even a sea turtle accidentally gets caught in the net, forcing the entire boat to stop, find a way to rescue and release it back to the sea. These small actions demonstrate the fishermen's deep love for the sea. They not only exploit, but also preserve and protect the environment they live with. And so, day after day, night after night, the fishing boats still silently roam the open sea, carrying the hope of the entire fishing village, bringing back to the mainland each fresh catch of fish. That is the effort, the sweat, the tears of the silent people. Those who have never been afraid of the wind and waves to fill the fish markets, make meals full, and enrich the coastal economies. Each fishing trip usually lasts from 3 days to a week, depending on the type of fish targeted and the distance from the fishing spot. Veteran fishermen often prioritize deep waters, once known as living gold mines, in the middle of the ocean. They go there with both modern equipment and traditional experience. Coordinates that have been carefully memorized through decades of fishing, through stories told by their ancestors, or even the haunting moments when the nets are torn. The fish are lost. No one knows exactly where the fish appear from, or what specific rules they follow. But fishermen have intuition. They can read the seabed with their eyes, hear the sound of fish with their senses, and predict opportunities with just the smallest signs, from the color of the water. Flocks of birds fly flying low, or just an unusual white foam rising in the middle of the ocean. During peak fishing seasons, the entire sea seems to come alive. Hundreds of fishing boats head out to sea, their fishing lights flickering like miniature cities on the water. Every boat is bustling with the sound of engines, waves, and people calling each other when the nets are full of fish. A separate life takes place in the middle of the sea, where people blend in with nature. Working with the rhythm of waves and storms. While everyone is working hard, there are moments of silence in the middle of the vast ocean that make people's hearts become quiet. Young fishermen, on the boat for the first time, often sit quietly and watch the sea, where there are no walls, no phone signal, only the wind whistling in their ears and the lonely sound of birds. They begin to understand why fishing is not just a job, it is a way of life. An eternal connection with the ocean. Many people have fallen into a state of despair when the nets are pulled up without a single fish. The whole boat is silent. No one says anything, only the steady sound of the engine and the waves lapping against the side of the boat. But then, with a strange patience, they continue to cast their nets, continue to search, continue to hope, and at the most unexpected moment, the sea gives an unexpected gift. A catch so big that no one believes their eyes. There are trips that last up to 10 days. The food they bring must be carefully calculated. Fishermen share each can of water, each package of noodles, each bundle of dried vegetables that are carefully packaged. Freshly caught fish sometimes also becomes food for meals, grilled lightly on a small gas stove on the boat, or cooked in simple soup with filtered seawater. Eating in the middle of the ocean, even though simple, is the best meal for them, because it is the result. the flavor of what their own hands have created. At night, when everything is done, the deck becomes the only place to rest. No beds, no mattresses, just a mat spread on the wooden floor. A few coats instead of blankets. But everyone sleeps soundly. The fatigue of a long day of pulling the net makes them sleep soundly to the sound of the waves, like a child lulled to sleep by his mother's voice. At sea, each person must be an indispensable part. No one